Hey there and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Allie and today I'm going to be bringing you through my home with me on a bit of a spring home tour. I'll be sharing with you the main areas of my home and I'll be showing you the ways that I've brought spring into the home, giving you lots of great tips, lots of great ideas, and hopefully a lot of inspiration to spruce up your home for spring. Then I'm going to take you with me into the kitchen where we're going to make one of my favorite healthy spring recipes, chocolate zucchini bread. It's delicious, it's a fan favorite in the house, and I think that you're going to love it. If you like videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop me a like or a comment, let me know what you think. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So we're going to start the spring home tour with my entryway console table. I really wanted some very large stems there as a statement piece, and I tend to go more neutral, so I knew I wanted a lot of neutral tones, and I usually mix it up with one piece of something that's a little bit more shimmery, like that mercury glass lamp that I have there on the left. And then I have this three-legged pedestal bowl that I filled with filler that I got on Amazon, which I linked for you below. And I really like it because you can see those balls of moss in there. It just gives a very nice earthy feel, but with a nice spring pop. And then this is a scalloped tray that I got at Target, which I linked for you also. And I have a thrifted bowl in there that I added some Palo Santo in with a glass matchstick holder. I think it looks really elegant and pretty when you first walk in the home, and Palo Santo has a very pleasing aroma that is just really nice and cleansing. It also is a great stress reducer, so I think it's usually good all around. I added a battery operated taper candle there, which looks very realistic, especially at night. And again, just those big green stems with that clear glass holder give it a nice pop. I finished it off with two baskets on the bottom with a plaid throw in one of them to just soften it up a little bit, and the baskets came from Target. And now moving over to this beautiful olive tree in our entryway. I got this artificial tree on Amazon. It's hard to find things on Amazon like this that are good quality, but I was really impressed with the branches and the leaves on that olive tree. So I put it in this textured vase that I got at Home Goods. I'll link a similar option for you on Amazon, but I did get this kind of recently. So if you want to pop into your local Home Goods and see if you could find it, it's a great shape. And as you can see, the skinny, tall olive tree just fits right inside of it. I think it's always so important when you buy an artificial tree like this to finish it off with a nice planter on the bottom. Rather than just kind of sticking it on the floor in that little dinky planter that it comes in, you can elevate the style so easily and make it look much more expensive and much more of a statement piece when you put it inside of a textured vase. So moving on, coming into my home, this is the main living area of my home. And in the springtime, I really like to add pops of green everywhere. You can see that I really do go with more of a neutral palette. I'm not really into a lot of the pastels and things like that. And that's just mainly because greens feel very earthy to me, very grounding. But adding in these pops of a brighter green that I bring out in the springtime is just a really nice way, again, to welcome the season. And I'll link these pillow covers for you. I got them on Amazon. Pillow covers are just a really inexpensive and easy way to change up the look of your main living area in your home and make a big impact for not a lot of money. I added this lantern on the bottom side of my mantle. I got it from Target from the Hearth and Home collection, and I just put a fern wreath in there with a battery operated candle, and I finished off the mantle with more battery operated taper candles and regular candles. They're remote control and I love them. In this corner, I have one of my favorite finds, also from Amazon. This is an artificial tree, but everyone always thinks that it's a real tree because the trunk of it is actually made with real wood, real moss. It looks very elegant, looks super nice, and unless you are really up close and examining those leaves, you would think that it's a real tree. People always think that that tree is real, and it just adds a beautiful touch to the corner of my home. I finished off the coffee table with a distressed white vase and some pampas grass and a gold lantern with a little bit of garland wrapped around it. Now over to this area behind where our living area is. It's a gallery wall that I recently updated. And if you've seen my recent videos, you know how much I love that thrifted antique vintage bench that I found at the thrift shop. And I styled it with two vases at different heights and some simple green stems. I like to find moss pieces, and that little patch of moss there that I added the candles to just again brings a nice springy element. Every time I see moss, I think of spring because we see it growing everywhere, and it just adds a really nice pop of color to those black and white photos and adds a little bit more depth and dimension to our hallway leading into our kitchen area. Moving on to our bathroom downstairs, I used a lot of things here that I'll link for you below. I've gotten things here from Target. That mirror actually came from Hobby Lobby. The towels came from Target. The stems came from Amazon. I'll link them for you. And this little tray here that I have the soap sitting on along with the diffuser, that came from Amazon, and it's really great at absorbing water. So when we have guests, you don't get puddles of water on the counter. And the diffuser came from Target. And these wall hangings, I really just liked that sort of scalloped kind of shape. I've had them for a long time, believe it or not, before scallops came back in. And I just really like that they add a nice organic element, a nice touch to the downstairs bathroom, nice free-flowing shapes that are really pleasing to the eye. And then I added this little planter with some real succulents there and just some moss around them. And this area right here, these are all from Target. So those two textured framed images that I had on top were very reasonably priced. And again, they just add a nice textural element. And I finished it off with one large towel and these two hand towels just draped over them. Again, all from Target. And they just bring a nice warm touch to the downstairs bathroom so that guests can feel extra cozy when they come over. Moving on to my kitchen, I really like to add a lot of green elements like these succulents. I think they look really pretty with the natural elements of the wood and the stone, and add nice pops of color for spring, along with that thrifted mortar in the corner there with some nice faux artificial spring greenery. And again, just breaking up the white of the kitchen with some wood elements and pops of green is a nice simple way to bring in spring. And I also love to bring in spring with these tulips. So these are real tulips, got them at the grocery store. And if you can find yourself a textured pot, like this black textured pot, and just pop those tulips in there with a nice flicker of an artificial candle and some coasters, it's a really nice way to finish off a countertop. And if you watched my last video, you saw how I pulled together this piece. It's a dough bowl with some succulents and garland, all at HomeGoods, Hobby Lobby, and online at Amazon. So we're moving now into the covered porch area, and I'm starting it off with these wreaths that I got at Target actually about a year or so ago. I'll link them for you below. And they're just very natural looking. And when you see them up close, I mentioned earlier that I really don't do a lot of pastels in the spring. I do tend to keep it neutral, but this wreath has tiny little bits of pink, purplish sort of baby's breath style flowers that are on there, and that's probably the most I'm going to add pink, but I think it just adds again a nice springy sort of touch. And I really do like these wreaths because they come with a hook on the back, so that if you go on Amazon, and I'll link them for you, you can buy those wreath hooks that are clear and they just suction right to the glass door. So it's just a really easy way to hang those wreaths without a lot of fuss, and those wreath hooks sort of vanish. You almost don't even see them. And again, just adds a nice pop of fresh greenery to the space. So we have a swinging bench here. It's just a really relaxing thing to have in the covered porch. I found some of those pillows over at HomeGoods. And then I brought some live plants out here since now the weather got warm. So that live plant on the left that I added there, and that wall hanging was from Hobby Lobby. Our cats love the covered porch. We have two cats. This is Olive, and we joke and we just call them wet noodles when they're out here because they're so limp and relaxed. It's just a really nice, cozy space. And if you want the details on styling the coffee table there, you can check out my last video where I showed you how to use some artificial greenery. And those are very real touch, very realistic looking artificial greenery that I just added there in the center. That again, there just screams spring. They're ranunculus stems and they really just help to welcome in the season. This is a fixture that I got on Amazon. I was so excited for it. It's got great reviews. It looks amazing and it's very inexpensive. I was so happy with the quality of it. And I brought my fiddle leaf fig tree out there also, since again, now the weather is nice and warm and it can tolerate it out in the covered porch. It really likes it there and already started sprouting some new leaves. So I love when my plants are happy, makes me happy too. So we're heading back inside now, and I'm just very quickly sprucing up this little coffee bar area with this little hobnail planter that I got. This one did come from Target a few years ago, but I'm going to link similar ones for you that you can score on Amazon. It's just a really cute way to bring a little pop of spring, and these are some succulents that I got from At Home. I also got those 2 large vases from At Home that are in the back here. And I brought this out in the light just to show you because my coffee bar is a little bit dark over there. So you can see more detail on the light. But again, I styled it with those 2 vases that I also got from At Home. They were 50% off on markdown, which was great. And these battery operated candles, these tend to look not great during the day. Honestly, they're a little bit orange for me, but I just put them on to show you how they add that flicker, a little bit of movement in the corner, and at night, they actually do look very good. So again, just kind of giving you an idea of how bringing a little bit of a flicker of light just sort of livens up that corner. So these are a set of 3 canisters that I got on Amazon. I'll also link them for you. I like to keep them here by the coffee bar because again, they bring in an element of spring with those dried oranges and just some grab and go treats that you can use there. I like these cocoa rolls that we got over at Costco. And again, bringing natural elements and things that we like to enjoy out into the open, like those cinnamon sticks and again, the dried orange slices, not only look beautiful and organic, but they also help you use them more. So we use this corner for coffee. We also use it for smoked cocktails and things like that. And I just think it adds the perfect touch of spring to the area. So I'm heading into the kitchen now. I told you earlier that we were going to make one of our family's favorite springtime treats. Zucchini is abundant and in season right now, so we're going to make chocolate zucchini bread. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm grating 2 medium-sized zucchinis. And you can see that it just leaves you a lot of shredded zucchini. So you want to put that into a kitchen towel and you're just going to wring that out over the sink or over a bowl just to get all that extra liquid out of the zucchini so that your chocolate zucchini bread doesn't come out watery. So now you're going to grab 3 very ripe bananas. The more ripe you can get them, the better, because that just adds extra sweetness to the zucchini bread. So you're going to put those 3 bananas into a large mixing bowl, and then you're going to add a little bit of melted butter, a nice little bit of honey. I'll put the full ingredient list for you with measurements down below, by the way. You're going to add in some vanilla extract, and then we're going to add in some eggs, but I'm going to show you a quick trick. If you need eggs at room temperature, which if you're baking, you do, you can actually put your eggs in a bowl of warm water for about 5 minutes, and that will bring them quickly to room temperature. So you're going to add your eggs into the bowl, and then you're going to just mash this mixture up. I like to use one of those meat mashers or potato mashers, and bits of banana are totally okay with me, but if you prefer them super smooth, you can use an immersion blender just to puree it. And now in a separate bowl, you're going to add your flour. In this case, I'm using Arrowhead Mills gluten-free flour. It's very easy. You can substitute it 1-to-1 ratio with regular flour. And then I'm adding some cacao powder, a little bit of salt, a little bit of baking powder, some cinnamon, some ground cinnamon, and then I'm going to whisk that all together. So you just want to whisk it enough so that everything is combined. And then we're just going to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients and just mix that up so that you get a nice batter. It should be thick enough where it's not runny, but still moist and not too dry. So you just want to get in there with a spatula and mix that up. Now we're adding the shredded zucchini, and you're just going to fold in the zucchini. This always makes me think of that show Schitt's Creek, if you've ever seen it, where they're folding in the cheese. Anyway, if you have, it's hilarious. Next, you're going to fold in those chocolate chips. You don't have to use the chocolate chips, but I really love chocolate chips, especially the Enjoy Life ones, because they're low sugar, they're allergen friendly, and they just add a really nice, sweet, savory crunch to the bread. So then you're going to grease a loaf pan and then put some parchment paper in there. And then you're just going to put that batter right into the loaf pan. And you can fill it up about halfway or 3/4 of the way. And this batter will actually give you enough for 2 loaves. So I just went ahead and put that in a second loaf. And then once you spread that out enough so that you have an even layer, you're just going to pop that in the oven for about 42 minutes. You can do 45 minutes. Every oven is different. So my oven tends to cook a little bit quicker. So if it's a 45-minute recipe, I do it for 42 minutes and then I check it. So while I'm waiting on the zucchini bread to cook, I came outside to pay a little visit to our tower garden. And I just had to show you this because I'm always so impressed with this tower garden. This is my 4th year doing the tower garden. I planted this thing 2.5 weeks ago. 2.5 weeks ago, and look how big and grown everything has gotten. That's a full head of bok choy. I like to use bok choy a lot for just like a quick weeknight saute or also in a smoothie because it's very mild, but it's very nutritious. So my kids don't even taste it. But I've got herbs up here. I've got cilantro. I've got some basil. I've got dill. Down here is some butter lettuce. I tried to label everything. Yeah, that's red butter lettuce, just so that I wouldn't forget what was what. You will not believe how abundantly everything grows in this tower garden. It's crazy. This is a tomato plant, so it's already starting to bud, so I should have some cherry tomatoes soon. And then on the bottom there, I've got some zucchini and some cucumbers. Here's some red romaine lettuce. Again, it's just really nice to be able to just go outside and pick your lunch very quickly. And I find that when I do this, I eat a lot healthier because it's right there at my fingertips. Again, just some more herbs up top. I also added some edible flowers, and I'm going to show you in just a minute that I'm going to use some of the edible flowers with the zucchini bread. But for now, I'm just picking a few leaves here so that I can toss them into a quick little salad for lunch. And these are violas. So again, they're edible flowers. I put them on the tower garden because they're great pollinators. They attract pollinators, but you can also bring them inside and use them to decorate your food, especially if you're serving something to a crowd or a guest. So now I'm back inside and I'm just checking my zucchini bread and it looks great. And you can see the chips there. It baked up really nicely. So I'm just going to use that dessert case that I got from my last video. And I'm just going to add some of those violas to the top. And you can see just from as you're watching me slice this that it came out so soft, super moist, and it's just really, really delicious. Again, this was enough for 2. And I know that we're going to crush this quickly because my family really loves this bread. I'm ending this video with one of my favorite corners of my home, this charming corner in our downstairs office/guest room. I just put a couple of shelves on the wall and I spruced it up for spring with this beautiful begonia plant up top. I've got a Himalayan salt lamp that I have a little flickering battery operated candle. And this is something that my great aunt Carol made. It's a stitch work. She made one for every single season. This is the one for spring. And you can tell by the willow tree and the robins and those ripples in the lake and the tulips. It is just the perfect way to ring in spring. That's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this spring home tour. I hope it gave you a lot of great ideas. If you like videos like this, don't forget to hit subscribe. That'll make sure that you get updates every time I post a new video. You won't miss anything. Please give this a thumbs up, drop me a comment, let me know what you thought, let me know what your favorite parts were, and what you want to see going forward in future videos. Thanks again so much for watching. Thanks for being here, and I hope that you have a great week. Take care.